Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. Today, our session, which is the first session of the 6 session series, that will the workshop, which will consist of 6 weeks for 6 session, and where we will discuss different perspective from English language teaching point of view. Today, the first session is principle and approaches of English to English language pedagogy. Here is Amanat Ali from Majma University, Saudi Arabia. I'm working as lecturer in English, and at the same time I'm pursuing my PhD from University Malaysia Pangal Sultan Abdullah. English language teaching, this session is specifically designed for Pakistani context, for Pakistani EFL context. Basically, first of all, English language teacher, it is a career, and different teachers adopt this around the globe. English language teaching as a first language, as second language, as foreign language. In Pakistan, we teach English as a foreign language. So being a English teacher, and it's a specific career for teachers. So, and the things start from the interest. First of all, we have interest in the career, then we put values, we learn skills, we set goals, we have development, and we also required proper education to be an English teacher, like English language teaching or other skills of language. We have to take the degree in English language teaching. So we move around the world, teach in different institutes, present our presentations. But I thought and I felt the need that I should share my knowledge and experience with my country fellows. So this session is specifically designed and presented for my Pakistani colleagues. How to teach English? This session is the target audience of this session are school-going school teachers and the student till an intermediate level. So today's presentation agenda will be teaching English in the recent era, learning outcomes. What are the learning outcomes? What are their goals or in language teaching learning? CEFR level, how we can assess language, on what basis, what is the criteria standard for language assessment. Lesson plans, different lesson plans for language skills and language system. And also instruction and concept based teaching, how to make the teaching effective. These are important things. Then important tips for English language teacher. Last is the question answer, and the final stage at the proceeding one will be the future guideline. Inshallah, we'll discuss. So if we see the English language teaching class today is not as it was a few years ago. At the time we studied English language has been changed in the recent era. So what is English language teaching? Why English language teaching is challenging, and how English language teaching has become the different. First of all, language learning has been changed in the past, teacher, student, and classroom. But the things, so now what is language learning? Language learning, at the same time language acquisition and teaching. Language is more communicative and than the authoritative. In the past, for example, the teachers usually have authority. They go to the class, help the student. But now language is more communicative rather than authoritative. Students are involved, specifically the generative artificial intelligence tools, podcasts, digital learning. They have, this is what now language teaching is. And why it has been changed? Because language has been globalized. It has been globally changed. Teaching has been globalized, and language has been changed globally. Yes, students sitting in front of us have access to unlimited information because they have gadgets. SDG4 education as quality, quality education, sustainable development goal. There is goal number 4. Quality education has also been involved in the education. And then workplace need has been different. In the past, a student who did his master's at bachelor's in English language has limited workplace need, but now many workplace need has been changed, like doing business, online communication. So English language learning has been changed. The learner who is sitting in front of us is sitting in a classroom without walls, because he has access to the world, whether the teacher teacher is using or not. But this Gen Z learner has the access to the international community, international. He has access to the learning. He's not sitting only among some few walls, but above this walls all over the world. How language teaching has been changed. For example, teaching methods have been changed in the past. Started with grammar translation method, then direct method. It is a matter of centuries now. It has been changed. A different method: audiolingual, communicative language teaching method, task-based, document ELT, and now we have call, MAL, computer assistance in language teaching. So management in the classroom has been changed. Similarly, the student focus is not that much as in the past. Then digital integration also has changed the language teaching. The teacher role in English language class is totally different. He or she has a role like a mother. For example, a baby who is learning language, he or she makes mistakes. Start from the letters, then words, then sentences, and then complex sentences. So similarly, the mother take cares of baby, and repeat after him, and different roles she played. A teacher's role in the past was just authoritative, as being lecture, delivering lecture, presentation, but now is scaffolder. He helps the student where it is required or needed. And teacher role is facilitator. He can only facilitate where needed, facilitate the class, not just the lecture. Okay, then teacher is still a leader. He's the leader of the class. He's leader for the students. So teacher role being a leader hasn't been changed. Now we'll move to language teaching. Language teaching, like all other teachings, language teaching now is knowledge based and course based or program based. KLOs, CLOs, and PLOs. KLOs stand for knowledge learning outcome, CLOs for course learning outcome, and program learning outcomes for PLOs. So knowledge learning outcomes are the outcome. For example, students is learning a topic of grammar, suppose simple past. So at the end of the week, when we have formative assessment, so knowledge, how much knowledge the student gain in a week or a month. Then vocabulary, we are teaching vocabulary of the context. For example, vocabulary of food, vocabulary about the festival, about colors, attitude, social sciences, biological sciences. So vocabulary is 1 week or 1 month. That is knowledge means the limited level of. Then pronunciation, we are teaching pronunciation, phonemes, phonetics, phonetical transcriptions or something at the level. So 1 day, 1 month, limited times is like how much knowledge the student has gained. Then CLOs, the course learning outcome. For example, a student is learning a course, phonetics and phonology, grammar, basic grammar. A student is the class is learning many topic related vocabulary. For example, social sciences is learning about technology. A lot of like a course, he is going to complete a course. At the end of the course, what is required there, those are course learning outcome. Student has to analyze various text and pronunciation and intonation. So at the end of the course, these learning outcomes are required at the end of the course. Then it comes the program learning outcome. A student who is taking a program, for example, he's passing the matriculation, passing high school degree, intermediate in Pakistan, or he's doing his BS. So at the end of the program, he should demonstrate a broad understanding of English language system regarding the communication. He should communicate effectively English across academic and professional and social context. Then at when he's completing the program, what is required, like applying linguistic and literary knowledge to analyze text and use research and analytical skill in investigation. Then it comes like we say, knowledge is the formative assessment. We have different kind of assessment. Formative assessment, we have summative assessment. Formative assessment mean at the end of the topic, daily, weekly, monthly, but summative assessment at the end of the term, at the end of semester. Now the next topic is difference between teaching language skills and system. Skills and system. Language has four skills. We have language skills, language system, and now we, being an English teacher, teach integrate skills and knowledge system together, so to achieve the goal. So language skills are four, as we can understand: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Listening and reading are passive skill. Speaking and writing are active skill. And similarly, listening and reading are passive skill, and like receptive skill. And speaking and writing are productive skill. So if we talk about language system, we are teaching grammar, pronunciation, or vocabulary, so that comes under language system. We can integrate, for example, listening with vocabulary, reading with vocabulary, writing and speaking with grammar. For example, before teaching the listening, we ask students to listen some keywords. So students listen, we mean to solve some, we teach them some keywords. Student learn some keywords. Similarly, reading, before reading a text, list of keywords is taught, so student can learn well. For example, if we are teaching writing or speaking, so for that purpose we teach mostly the grammar, integrate grammar with writing and speaking. For instance, we ask students to write about their past or tell a narrative story. So we taught them, so first simple past perfect, and then narration past story. If we are asking students to talk about daily routine, something happening every day, so we'll teach them simple present or present perfect, and then student will tell the stories what are happening in right time. Similarly, pronunciation and the speaking, with the speaking skill, when we are teaching pronunciation, we teach during the speaking skill, we notice intonation, stress, these things. The next important factor that has been part of English language teaching is CEFR level A1 to C2. These are 6 level. They are common European framework of reference for language. It is an international standard. For example, at student at A1 will be the beginner. Student at A2 will be the pre-intermediate level considered. Intermediate B1 will be considered as intermediate level students. Then B2 upper intermediate, C1 advanced, and C2 is proficient. So they have different description. Beginner means student who can, for example, we see the description here. A beginner is the one who can understand the basic expressions, introduce self, and ask uncertain question. Very simple ideas and basic English. Gradually, so it rises to elementary, understand frequent expression, handle simple routine tasks, describe basic personal information. Similarly, like B2, understand main point, family topics more and more. And if we talk about the C2 proficient, understand virtually everything, summarize every source, express ideas. So at this proficient level, mean masters, he can understand all kind of English and is fluent and he is accurate. So this criteria is also followed in IELTS, international IELTS tests, and other TOEFL and Duolingo or other tests. So CEFR level has been followed. For student who is at the beginning, beginner or beginning level, he has limited knowledge, but student who is proficient, so at what level the student is. So when we assess, when we check the student knowledge, so this criteria, this standard is used: A1, A2, B1, B2, C1 and C2. So every student who is learning English will be checked under this criteria at international level. Okay, lesson plan. Next is language skill lesson plan. Lesson plan plays a very important role in language teaching because lesson cannot be taught, cannot be achieved without a plan. Plan is very important in life. Similarly, English language lesson plan is important. Here are important components of Language skills lesson, like I mentioned, we have 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, speaking. Mostly we integrate reading with writing, listening with speaking. So here we go. First of all, the main aim is overall skill to achieve. For example, we say at the end of this lesson, student will be able to read the text or analyze the text about festival. Subsidiary aim is the smaller aim or supporting task. For example, at the end of this unit or at the end of this lesson, student will be able to speak. If the reading, then writing will be reading main aim, subsidiary aim writing. If listening is the main aim, then subsidiary aim may be speaking. So then we have how to start the lesson. So the first step to starting the lesson, that is called lead in or warm up. A lead in mean to start, how to bring the students attraction toward the lesson, how to activate their schemata, how to arouse their interest, and how to activate their previous knowledge, engage student, and to introduce topic. It takes 3 to 5 minutes maximum, so we have to finish it. Then it comes pre-activity, if a reading text, we ask the student to preparatory task like reading pre-teach vocabulary, if the preview, reading paragraph, reading text, prediction, they just see some videos or some captions and they predict what is going to happen. Also we can this stage as brainstorm. Okay, what do you think? So any idea in their brain, they write down, and then the next stage starts. So the next is while activity, main tasks, core skills focused activity like listening, speaking, reading, and writing. At this stage, for example, we have in reading we have skimming, scanning, then reading, intensive reading, extensive reading. So for if we are doing the listening activities, at this we have listening for gist, listening for specific information, then detailed listening, and blah blah. This is the main task. It takes normally 10 minutes, around 10 minutes in the lesson plan. Then post activity or follow up activities, extension or reflection and activity. So this stage of the lesson is normally for also 7 to 10 minutes, and we integrate skill. For example, we have taught students through reading skill about festival. Now it is the stage where we can ask student the follow up to talk about the topic. For example, we have given them listening task, listening about colors in different cultures. So at the end of the lesson, students should talk about color, their favorite thing. Are they reading, then writing, listening, then speaking? So assessment and evaluation at the end of each lesson is important. So at this stage, teacher have formative check of all skill acquisition, oral, written, or performance based. The next is knowledge lesson plan. The knowledge lesson plan also, it has, first of all, the teacher should have learning outcomes like knowledge learning outcome, course learning outcome, then program learning outcome in his mind. And here learning objective or outcomes mean lesson objectives. For example, I want to teach my student about simple past perfect. I want to teach about comparative adjective, about adverb of manners. I want to teach about conditional sentences. So the knowledge at the end of this topic, student would be or will be able to use this grammar topic in the proper context and something. So that is the target language. So input, the form, meaning, and use of the target structure. First of all, the language has been introduced like setting context or presentation. You are teaching grammar lesson, for example, tenses. Timeline is the best thing to draw and show where something happened. Also presentation to of the topic start with, for example, I want to teach my student the present perfect. I will show some of the stories, pictures, something just finished, something was started and finished. If something I'm talking to them or teaching my students about continuous, present continuous, past continuous, or continuous aspects. So I will ask my student to like something happening something going on, now, present continuous. So any topic of grammar. So first, present in a context. Context means share a story, share a picture. If something is finished, share picture, something has been finished. Something continue, share a picture that is going on. Something okay, we can also share a dialogue, play a dialogue, so student can listen and understand. First step. Then practice activity. The first practice activity, we give student, for example, about grammar lesson. The grammar lesson, we can give them the control practice like drill, gap fill, matching, substitution. So these kind of the control practice, fill in the blanks. Student has to do just from the topic, that fill in the blanks control, or matching the heading, not heading, matching the parts of sentences, or substitution, present, past, future, replacement, that's called. We have then next step is semi-control practice. For example, sentence building, short dialogue. So there is not fully controlled, but semi-controlled practice there is in a second, third stage of the lesson. Then free practice. So this follow up our free practice. Now we ask the student, if grammar topic, we taught about past, we can ask student to talk about the past events or present events, what's happening according to the topic. Okay, for example, I have been teaching comparative adjective. I can ask student to compare different things and use comparative form of adjective. Then assessment and feedback is the last stage for the knowledge lesson plan. So at this stage, students can teacher can assess and send feedback, take feedback. So feedback can be taken like peer feedback, group feedback, teacher individual feedback. There are this stage. And finally, reflection of the student. How do students feel? They reflect, they express, and teacher gives them homework. So these are the important stages of knowledge lesson plan. Then now we'll move to the ICQs and CCQs. ICQ, we give students some instruction, and students don't understand or understand. We want to check, okay, it's a group activity or pair activity, it's one word answer or one sentence, it's speaking activity or it's writing activity. So for that purpose, we check the instruction. How can we check the instruction? Teacher can ask ICQ mean instruction check question, and CCQ mean concept check question. We have been teaching, being an English teacher, asking student, teaching a topic, for example, simple past. So we can ask concept, whether it was happening in the past, present, future. So our instruction checks are, for example, do you write full sentences or just words? So the full sentence, the instruction we ask student, write full sentences. Student doesn't. It's very rude or traditional or typical if we ask a student to do you understand? Did you get my point? Though it's very rude. It's very not encouraged in language teaching. So we can ask questions that should encourage not only learning but also that should revise the topic. ICQs, can you do this alone or with partner? So it is also about the activities. And instruction check, we can check instruction. Are you asking the question to your partner or writing them down? So the answer is asking. So this way. Then if you are talking about grammar concept, I have been teaching grammar, simple past, the marker sentences. I went to the park yesterday. How can I check? I can ask student like conceptual question. This happened. Did this happen today? No. Is it finished or still happening? Yes, finished. So this way students think and respond, so the concept become clear. Vocabulary, for example, the word vocabulary, we use delicious. So we can ask CCQ, if the food is delicious, do I like it or dislike it? So students say, I like it. Then can I use delicious for a book? No, student mentioned no. So this way they can understand better. Now this is the almost the end of the session, and Important tips those are important in English language teaching class. For example, body language. There are different examples of body language. For example, facial expression, hand gesture, posture, eye contact, physical space. So these ideas mean the body language also matters. Yes, dressing comes first, but body language, these are body example of facial expression. Student, how the teacher express body language from facial expression, hand gesture for student for instruction and other things, posture of the teacher, and eye contact during the activities, and physical space. It also matters because uh, mm, students are also human, so teachers should have, and different cultures have different concept of physical space. Mastering the keyword. So this is another important mean tip. I'm going to teach my students about technology, artificial intelligence, but I should know the keywords, their meaning, their form, and their pronunciation. If we don't know, uh, because all the time listening, reading, our topic revolved around the keywords. So for example, even the grammar sentence, the marker sentence, teachers should know how to give that meaning, like CCQs, form of the word, and how to pronounce. So if we are second or foreign language learner in English language, so we should focus, check the dictionaries, how to pronounce the word correctly. Then there comes the error correction. Error correction in the maybe in the past, I can say the traditional ways are uh, less efficient ways. Teachers say no, it's right, it's wrong. It's like not, it's kind of discouragement to the student. So for that purpose we can ask student peer correction. Ask, okay, one student write, we should give it to another student to check. One is speaking, another one is checking his in making correction, what mistakes are students making. So then self correction. For example, we ask student, okay, so a student is writing a paragraph about technology, about his favorite restaurant, about his city. So we can ask, okay, check again, self correction. You should do it. You should check punctuation in writing. You should check in spelling error, something other. So also delayed correction mean teacher can wait, stop at the mistakes. Is it true? It is correct. So delay the response so student can. Then recasts. For example, my students sharing their past experience. He was telling me that he about past. He said, I go to Riyadh yesterday. So I asked him, I go to Riyadh. I go to Riyadh. So the recast early station mean go. Oh yeah. Then he, when you recast, you mean elicit, student can understand that it is. And if you are checking writing, highlighting is not that much encouraged, but some words can be. Then correction symbols can be added. Time management is one of the important skill that is required for all kind of humans, but during the English language class, teacher should run according to the lesson plan. For example, the step of lesson plan lead in should be take 3 to 5 minutes. And then stages of the lesson, for example, in skills lesson, pre-activity, while in post, it should take around time should be mentioned like 30 minutes or whatsoever the time of. If the lesson is 45 minutes, then 10 minutes for feedback and 5 minutes for reflection and homework. So this way, then yeah, empathy is one of the important skills that every human should have, because the world cannot be run without empathetic thought. So being an English teacher, he or she should listen patiently to the students. He should encourage high learner, feel empathetic, build confidence on the shy students, acknowledge their feeling, and praise their efforts and motivate the students, because all these are the feeling of being empathetic, being sympathetic, Now we have here, if you have any question or answer, you can post under my video. So we can, if you need any support in EFL teaching, please don't hesitate to reach out. And here is the QR code for my social media accounts. You can follow or ask any questions anytime from different social media accounts. Thank you for your time and everything. Thank you and God bless you.